Happy Tuesday. It's another segment of Everyday Enlightenment. I'm Claritha, and I want to talk about empowerment and empowering yourself. So I do a card pull every Monday for the collective, and I post that card on my Instagram stories. And what I pulled first this week was the butterfly Maiden, which this card illustrates like transformation, which I think is so perfect because it's 2020 and we've been all about change, evolution, and transformation this year. And it's going to be we're going to be doing quite a bit of that over the next couple weeks because it's almost like we have entered into this accelerated pace of shifting and change, really. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, please go back and watch last week's Instagram Live. I talked about the lunar eclipse and some of the cosmic weather that we're going to be experiencing between now and through the solstice and the end of the year, beginning of 2021. So go back and watch that if you haven't seen it. And the second card I pulled, which I thought was super interesting, was this empowerment card. And I want to remind you that you are stronger than you give yourself credit for. And yes, even if you don't feel like it, because it's really the strongest of the strong who are here right now, because we are like the ground crew. We are like the light crew that is here and slowly awakening the sleeping masses on the planet. We are helping them to remove the sleep from their eyes. We're helping them wake up. We are helping them see through the things and see through the manipulation of the things going on in the mainstream. So, we have a big task to do, right? And it's not always easy, right? Because when there's so much external noise happening, when there's so much distraction and there's so much external manipulation, it's hard to stand in your truth. It can be very challenging because you still want to feel safe. You still want to feel sane, honestly, and you still want to feel sovereign, even when 99% of the information out there and the conversations that you're having with people are bombarding you with this other message that doesn't align with your truth, right? And it's always your job to kind of stay in your truth. So what do you do, right? What do you do in that? And so to stay sane and to stay empowered in your truth, you always have to go within, right? And that means cultivating the connection with yourself. That means cultivating the connection with your heart and your light and your higher self and the divine aspects of you, because that really is the most important relationship you will ever have. Like hands down, the most important relationship that you will ever have is with you and is with your inner self and your heart, because more so than with your spouse, more so than with your kids or your cats or your parents or relatives, because let's face it, at the end of this life, it's you and you, right? There's nobody else there. And so this is really the most important relationship that you have to cultivate throughout your life, because you are here for a reason, and you don't get to know that reason unless you spend time with yourself. So being empowered is an inner experience. You don't learn this externally. You can't crack a book. You can't take a course. You have to cultivate it within yourself, which is great and sometimes can be super difficult, right? So being empowered is necessary for change and growth and transformation and expansion and evolution, really. So this is sort of this is the journey that we are all on together collectively, but this is also an individual journey at the same time. So it's kind of that macrocosm, microcosm situation, which makes it really interesting. So when you're empowered from within, it makes it much easier to navigate whatever comes and to help keep you open and grounded when things don't feel so grounded and so equal across the board, right? And the important thing to remember in your empowerment is that we are all connected. And that will help you keep connected to the idea and the perspective that there is an answer somewhere, there is a solution that will benefit everybody in some way. And sometimes that requires us to really stretch ourselves in an uncomfortable way, but that solution is there. So that's part of taking back your power, right? And so it is also your job to remain compassionate, to remain kind, but also really not to take any shit from anybody, right? Because there's a lot of things outside of us that, when we come into conflict or challenge, things can try to suppress your power or suppress your voice or violate your boundaries. So you get to establish the balance within you that where you don't need to necessarily control the outside experience of things going on. However, you still get to enjoy the inner peace that you've cultivated and created for yourself within. All right. So there's an equilibrium that you get to create that balances the external and the internal at the same time, because you don't necessarily have control over the external. I mean, I do believe that we all create our reality to a certain extent, but you can't do everything, right? So it's, we forget that we are creator beings, that you are a divine creator being, and how you want to feel on the inside is important, because from there you get to decide and you get to create how you want to feel in the outside. You get to feel and experience a certain way of being on the inside, and then that's what you get to, through your beingness and your actions, you get to create that on the outside. And that's what it means to be in alignment, really, because you're aligning your internal feelings with the external actions that you take. And whether the external action is, having a conversation with somebody, or doing an Instagram live, or sending a newsletter, or going out and protesting, like everybody gets to decide what their action is, but it has to be aligned with what you are feeling inside and really what you want to create and what you want to experience on the inside. So that's what being in alignment means. You kind of know on the inside and you do on the outside. All right. So be gentle with yourself, because it's a constant journey of being the observer and being aware of what you're feeling inside, making a decision if this is what you want to experience and if it aligns with what you want to experience, and then deciding and creating that experience on the outside with whatever that doingness is. So it's really a balance of that yin and yang energy, the masculine and the feminine. It's a beautiful interplay of energies that go on within you, and then you get to translate outside of you. So it all starts here. It all starts from the inside. And, we all have our moments where things pull us out of alignment. We all have our moments when something just like really quickly pisses us off, whether it's like getting cut off in traffic, computer things going haywire, whatever. So we all have those moments where we get pulled out of alignment. But you always get to come back into alignment, and you always get to stand in your power. So I'm going to just be honest and say, if you are not overall experiencing a sense of well-being and peace right now inside of you, in spite of, and maybe, also including what's going on in the world and in the collective in general, then you have some work to do, my friend. Okay? Because if you are not experiencing some moments in your day of peace and well-being, and that just like, I am in control here, I am empowered here. And if you're not getting those moments, then there is some work to be done with your belief systems. Because, as I say, nobody's gonna rescue you from you, right? We are the ones we've been waiting for. And this is the inner work that is so, so important for us to do during, times of, well, always, to be honest, but especially when things hit the road and the rubber hits the road and things get a little bit more chaotic outside of us. So we are the ones that we have been waiting for. And somewhere along the way, maybe you forgot that, but you are a divine creator being and you came here on this earth plane and to walk this earth journey, to play in this and to remember this and to do some fun stuff. So it's time to take your power back. And if you've forgotten that, or you've had a hard time with that, message me or check out the Sovereign Heart School, because I cannot express to you enough how much of a skill this is going to need to be flexed over the next few weeks. Because if you think things look crazy now, just wait. it's going to appear that the world has lost its friggin' mind. But it's going to appear that way, even though it's not the truth, but it's going to appear that way. So you need to cultivate that inner sight and that inner knowingness of yourself that like, it's all good. It's all good, because it is all good. And so you're an empowered being. And so you get to decide what the truth is for you. You get to see the truth of things. And, you know, having that connection to your inner self really allows you the freedom and the sovereignty to experience things the way that you want to experience. So over the next couple weeks, cultivate standing in your empowerment and your sovereignty, because you get to experience, you know, feeling strong, feeling empowered, and feeling well-being, or you get to experience disempowerment and feeling stressed out and maybe in fear, right? So it's a decision, it's an internal decision first before it's an outward action, okay? And so you always have a choice. You always have a choice. And that choice is in how you want to feel. So I'm just going to show you guys this card again here. And it starts from within, from the inside out. So message me if you'd like support. I'm happy to jump on a call with you if you need support. And remember to meditate, meditate, meditate. And clear, clear, clear. You know, breath of fire, fist of anger, like do all the things, because it's you and yourself, and you get to decide how you want to feel. So I hope you want to feel good. I know you want to feel good, and love yourself and be gentle. So have a great week.